The following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com.
Yeah, we're always trying to improve that stuff. Working on new permitting stuff at the city. That's a big thing. We're painting City Hall right now. So we're getting a new website redesigned as we speak.
Nice.
It should be ready to go soon. But, we've got some other projects that we're trying to keep moving forward to. And so it's just a little bit of everything.
All right. And speaking of that, you've just a few things that over the past year, actually year plus, that I've noticed. I don't want to say the public interaction. It seems like you have taken what I want to say, not explicit steps, but you've been intentional in trying to get out and get public feedback about particular issues, such as a perfect example of that coming up on January 11th, the Coffee with the Mayor events. How has that sort of helped you shape sort of your planning and your priorities and tasks that you tackle as mayor?
Well, I think it shows that we're willing to come to the constituents and have conversations. I know that a lot of people don't like to go up to the council chambers. It can be intimidating. So we started doing that a while back. I think we've been going on a couple of years now, and they continue to get better and better, and the crowds are growing, and the topics are, of substance. And I think one of the things that helped me, and we made this change a while back as well, was I used to just go to Coffee with the Mayor by myself. Well, now I try to take a department head with me, and then I try to take a council member, so that I'm not the only one talking, and the constituents can ask them questions from their perspective as well, things that are going on specifically within their ward or within their department. And that spawned a lot of really good conversations as well, I believe.
And so speaking of the event, do you know on the 11th, it's at Guest House starting at 9 a.m.
Yep.
Once again, direct competition with that Cheap Seat show. Sometime we need to join forces on that. But on the 11th, do you know who your guest invitees are going to be?
I do. I'm going to bring Alderman David Sanders. He represents Ward 2. And then I'm also going to bring City Clerk Peggy Bateman in, and she can talk about a lot of things going on within her department and the sewer discounts going on, things like that. And then also adding a little flavor to it this time, we're going to have Andrea Runge with Loyd join us. There's a lot of economic development stuff going on in the city, and so I think that would be good for people to be able to ask her questions and also introduce her as a partner of the city with our constituents as well.
Right. So once again, the phone number here, 217-648-5510. If you would prefer to email us questions or comments, you may do so. 4 p.m. 411 at WLCNonline.com. Our guest, once again, Mayor Tracy Welch, Mayor of Lincoln. You're talking about economic development, sort of maybe not a partner with that, but a related area. The tourism, certainly in promoting Lincoln, is vital in all sorts of economic development and growth and publicity and so forth. The city and the tourism department have recently re-signed an agreement or come to a new agreement. I'm not exactly sure.
It's a renewal.
Okay.
Yeah, we do it every year. We chose to do it on an annual basis because it gives us an opportunity to continue to connect with them. We get a quarterly report from the director, Alice McRae. She comes in, but this just gives us an opportunity to make some adjustments if we need to, and how we feel tourism is doing. Usually, the conversations tend to lean into, do we give 95% to tourism this year, or do we give 90% and then we keep some of it for other things that we'd like to do? And we had that conversation this year, but we decided to keep it as is for now. So,
okay. And when you say 90% or 95%, the percentage of what are we talking?
So when you stay or people travel and stay at hotels in Lincoln, it generates sales tax revenue. We call that the hotel motel tax. And we get all of that hotel motel tax at the city. And we have decided years ago, and we continue to, again, make adjustments as needed, but we give them 95% of all of that tax revenue so that they can operate the programs, the grants, pay employees. They're also in a city building. The depot's owned by the city, so they pay us rent to be in that building. Now, there's some other things that we do as partners with them in that property, but that 95% goes to them so that they can run that program for the city and the county.
Okay. And of course, all sorts of things happening that sort of fall under the umbrella of tourism as far as promoting not just the city itself, but special events such as the weekend Balloons Over 66 weekend, the Rail Splitter Festival, the Christmas parade. I mean, everything that might attract people to come to town.
Yeah.
It seems like the tourism has some sort of a hand in that in getting the word out.
Yeah, I mean, they're really the voices of our community and our county, and so they're involved in those events that you had mentioned. I believe they do Christmas on Vinegar Hill in Mount Pulaski. They at least play a role in some of that through grants and other things. So yeah, they really try to support anything and everything going on. I know that Miss McCrae actually works with other CVBs, the Visitors Bureau, I think that's what it's called, CVB.
Convention Visitor Bureau,
yeah.
I believe.
So I know she partners with them. She goes to seminars and functions and stuff like that and conferences. So, yeah, we're fortunate to have tourism.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, is it this coming year is the Route 66 anniversary? Is it the one?
I don't think it's this year. I think we got a little bit more time.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's fast approaching.
Right, absolutely. So, and again, of course, Lincoln will have a big presence in that, and lots of people traveling Route 66. So, let's see, not to jump around on you to completely unrelated topics,
Yeah,
but
go for it.
talking about the city and attracting people here. When people come here, we obviously want the city, we want to present it in the best light possible. Sometimes in doing that, I guess as mayor and just government in general, there are, properties that fall into disrepair and things like that. I guess there have been some more of a concerted effort by the city to maybe look at some of those properties and try and, rather than just let them sit and further, fall into disrepair, take some action to clean things up, and sounds like the city has done that here with a few different properties as of late. Yeah,
we do. The one that has been authorized by the council recently, and it's going to be moving forward, is at 605 Lincoln Avenue. It was a beautiful property back in its day and all of its characteristics and glory, but over the years it's just fallen into disrepair, and it has become a blighted property. And I know that there's been some passionate owners that had a grand vision that unfortunately they weren't able to bring that back to life. But we do owe it to the residents in that neighborhood to ensure that we're not having properties sit there that are diminishing their property tax or their property values, and that generates less tax dollars for the city. So yeah, we are unfortunately going to be demolishing that particular property. Again, the mission is always to get properties back in the hands of people that will do something with them, take care of the properties, make sure they're not overgrown, build a new building. We've worked with organizations that have done that in the past. So, we're really trying to just keep the city of Lincoln moving forward and continue to make it look beautiful.
All right. And speaking of moving forward, we need to move forward into our first commercial break. So once again, our guest is Mayor Tracy Welch, Mayor of Lincoln. 217-648-5510, the number to call if you have questions or comments for the mayor. We will be back in 2 minutes. And if you are listening on or watching on our YouTube, you will now see our partnership with Lincoln Police Department and Crime Stoppers, the Crime of the Week.
This is Corporal Brian Clements with the Lincoln Police Department. This week, Lincoln Logan County Crime Stoppers is seeking information in reference to copper gutters that have been stolen off churches in the last couple of weeks. On December 6th at 1:54 p.m., 2 subjects stole a copper downspout off the Zion Lutheran Church at 205 Pulaski Street. They were both on bicycles, and one was wearing a Chicago Bears jacket, the other was wearing a tan coat and blue jeans. If you have any information on this crime, please contact Lincoln Logan County Crime Stoppers anonymously at 217-732-3000 or the Lincoln Police Department at 217-732-2151. Tips leading to an arrest could receive a cash reward up to $1,000. Crime Stoppers only wants your information, not your name.
The Lincoln Logan County Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week is brought to you by Me Realty, supporting a thriving community safe for families through support of the Crime Stoppers program. Me Realty, 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411 here on WLCN 96.3 FM, also streaming live on YouTube as well as the Mixler app. Once again, our guest this afternoon, Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch. If you have questions or comments, 217-648-5510, the number to call. We were talking about a variety of topics before the break there, talking about disrepair and trying to just generally clean the city up. Few incidents have happened as of late with the Sangamon Street fire as well as the Idle Hour fire. Is there anything as a government official you can tell us about that maybe we don't know about in terms of those?
Well, Sangamon Street, I haven't seen an official report on that property. We've been really focusing on getting it cleaned up, and thank goodness we finally we got the right contractors in there. They've got that property cleaned up, and the road is opened back up on Plasky Street, which is a good thing. So now we move forward and we address some of the other things that we need to regarding that property. I am pleased to state that we did actually receive some money back from the insurance company regarding that property. So it was approximately $109,000, and so that was a pretty big dent in what we've had to expend on that. So good news, and we'll continue to work on the remaining balance. Sure. The other one at the Idle Hour, I actually just read something this weekend that they put out regarding the fire, and they put all the details out on their page. And so it's an unfortunate situation. I hope that we can see Idle Hour open back up someday, but I know that they've got a long road ahead of them in restoring that property. So, yeah.
And I think I asked you this before, but I know when sports teams, when they take out like baseball team signs a pitcher, they will to a long-term contract. They will take out an insurance policy on that pitcher in case he gets injured, so that he goes out, throws his first pitch, and has a rotator cuff injury or something, and then that allows them to somehow recoup part of their money that they've spent on his contract.
Right.
Is there any type of insurance that like a city can take out, just generally, that hey, in case we have a Sangamon Street business or a business owner or whatever, or a property fall into disrepair, and now the city has the expense of renovating it, cleaning up, whatever the case might be, where you can get some of those funds back? Is there anything available like that? Or
unfortunately, none that we're aware of. We would be expending taxpayer dollars on private property by doing so, which is not the mission of city government. Sure. Unfortunately, we've had to in this particular case, but really for safety reasons more than anything. But it would be great if that were the case, to protect the interests of the people. Yeah. That's for sure.
Speaking of safety.
Yeah.
I see here on my list the Safety Act.
Yeah, so crime in Lincoln has been a hot topic. I think everybody is aware of that. Mm-hmm. And I will say that we're not any different than other communities. We're seeing a lot of the same things. And I just got some statistical data from the chief about, I wanted to see, what crimes look like our statistics prior to the Safety Act being implemented and then now. So I'm still kind of combing through that, but there is no doubt in my mind that some provisions of that bill have made it just extremely difficult for law enforcement in general. I mean, we've had some people that are doing burglaries and thefts and crimes, and they get arrested and they're back out on the street within an hour. And some people have been arrested 2-3 times in the same evening. And it's not because we don't want to keep the community safe, but that's the laws that we have to follow. And our police department does a wonderful job. And I know that the judges that are in place, the sheriff, the state's attorney, they're trying to work within the confines of that law as well. So it's a very tough position to be in.
Right. And I remember when the Safety Act, when it was being proposed, proponents of it were saying, oh, no, it's not going to just be basically an open door that someone gets arrested and then within hours or X amount of time they're going to be back on the street. That in some cases there are going to be safeguards in place that if, and I don't remember the particular issues, but I think if someone was perhaps a recidivist as far as habitual offender, or some type of a crime that they committed was more severe or serious, there could be exceptions where people could be held. But it sounds like I don't know, are the exceptions, the threshold so high that the law enforcement is not able to hold those people?
Yeah, I'm not the expert on the Safety Act. That would be Chief Meister, but and I know you've spoke with him about that. But they have guidelines that they have to follow that are written into the law. And as much as they would love to keep people into custody to keep our community safe and hold those individuals accountable, their hands are just completely tied behind their back. So one of the things that I've been doing, and this is why I wrote the Safety Act down on our list of topics today, was I believe that the next logical step, while we continue to, try to keep the community safe, doing the best we can, I think the people need to start reaching out to all of those individuals that are in the state legislature that voted this thing in. And so we're putting together a list. I've got our administrative assistant. I'm working with her on it. We're putting a list together of the bills that were passed, the trailer bills that were passed, and then we're going to make it easy for you to find their information. We need people to write them and tell them, this is what it's doing to our community. Please revisit this and take a look. And Senator Turner's staff was great. They helped us get some information too. But this is a fight that we've got to continue to push with the state, just like LDC, or not LDC, I'm sorry, but the prison.
Correctional.
Yeah. So keep our voices loud and keep them consistent and moving. So, yeah.
All right, very good. So that takes us to just past 20 after, so we'll go ahead and take our second break. Once again, our guest today, Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch. Still got about 10 minutes if you have questions or comments. 217-648-5510, the number to call. We will be back with more with Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch right after this.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com. And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411 here on WLCN 96.3, also streaming live on YouTube. Once again, our guest today, Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch. He's here for another 6 or 7 minutes. Wrapping up, we've covered a smattering of topics today. Of course, one of the topics that's been on everyone's mind as of late has been the weather and the snow and the cold weather. A few activities coming up related to that, or maybe not activities, but just some things folks should know about. Christmas tree pickup is up and coming, I hear.
Yep, the 15th, and they ask you to have the trees out by the curb at 7 in the morning. They're going to do one pass through the community. That is it. So get it out there before 7. Make sure it's not in a bag. Remove all the decorations. We just want the tree. So, and you can also take it out to the city landfill if you'd like as well. And the hours are posted on the city website. So, yeah. Okay,
very good. And while we're sort of in that arm of the city government, Walt and his crew have done, I thought the streets were great for the driving I did, at least the places I had to go. I was expecting all sorts of sliding and snow piles and things like that, but seemed to be, I understand we got less snow than was predicted, but still it looked like they were out there and they were on it as quick as they could be, and so kudos to them. They do a nice job.
Yeah, we do have a top-notch crew with the Streets and Alley Department. Those guys are very skilled and very hardworking, and while we were all sleeping, they were out plowing snow and making sure that we could get where we needed to the following day, although some schools were closed, and we did close City Hall for a little bit to delay the opening. But, yeah, they do a wonderful job. We're blessed to have them.
And speaking of weather delays, I saw posted on I think it was the city's Facebook page, that garbage pickup was going to be delayed this week due to the weather.
Yeah, it is delayed by one day. So, like today, our trash was supposed to be picked up where I live on Tuesday, so now it'll be Wednesday.
Okay.
So they did experience some delays.
While we're in the neighborhood, GFL and the trash service, for a while that was a very hot button topic. It seemed like people, billing issues and just a wide variety of issues.
Yeah.
Have those gotten better? I haven't seen as many complaints on social media, which I know is not, can't necessarily go by that, but it seems to at least to be not quite as many complaints. Are you finding that to be true as well? Or
I think it fluctuates, really. Maybe perhaps we were in the holiday season and people were focused on other things and stuff, but there are always going to be issues in a customer service job like that. And that topic, we've seen good days and bad days with that topic. Trying to consolidate billing was probably not the best choice, and we rebounded from that and moved on. But I will say that GFL, when there are problems that constituents have, one of the benefits that we have at the city, despite how you feel about the contract in itself, is that we can pick up a phone and we can call them directly, and we can tell them the problems that are having, and we can sternly request that they adhere to the contract and take care of our constituents the way that they agreed to and promised to. And I will say that they have been great to work with. We even had some issues here recently, and it was the way that a driver had handled some of the toters and stuff like that. And we called them up, and they went out and they did a field check on it, and they gave us a response. And this was during the holidays too. So, it's sometimes a bad topic, sometimes a good topic, but one that we all have to have. I mean, we all generate trash.
And speaking of the GFL contract, do you recall, I'm putting you on the spot here, but when did that contract go into place, and is it up for renewal?
I believe it is in effect until 2027.
Okay.
And one of the things that I remind people about when I have the conversations is that come 2027, we're still going to be around $20 for your trash service, monthly trash service amount. And so in 2027, we don't know what trash rates are going to look like elsewhere, but I think that that's a pretty good rate considering the cost of everything else is going up, water and electricity and the things that are out of our control. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And speaking of things out of your control, but perhaps little bit of daylight there that it is getting in your control, or at least there's some light at the end of the tunnel. The 5th Street project.
Yes,
And
very
you said
excited
there's some
about
news
that.
About that.
Yeah, so all the paperwork's been submitted to IDOT, and we are on their March letting schedule, what they call a letting schedule. And so, of course, it's the state, and anything can go wrong. But those of us that are involved in the project, we're pretty confident that we'll start seeing movement on that project in March of this year. So it only took us, 26 years to get to this point, 27. So, it's a huge win.
All right. And then is there any sort of timetable that you're aware of as far as how long the project will take? I know there's a lot of contractors and schedules that have to be coordinated and things like that, but is there any sort of a ballpark you've been given on that?
Yeah, last time we talked about this topic, it's shooting for somewhere between 18 and 24 months to complete, because there are businesses that are functioning out there. There's residents that live out there. So we're going to have to do that project in a phased approach. It's possible that various phases will use different materials given the criteria for that specific spot on the road. So, but we're looking at 18 to 24 months.
Okay. And then, of course, the weather and things like that can always play havoc
Anything
with
can
it. So,
change. Yeah.
Exactly. So one thing that will not change, though, this Saturday at 9 a.m., guest house, you can meet and greet Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch, have some coffee, and you pick up the tab on the coffee.
I pick it up.
Hey,
Yep.
Look at you.
Yep.
And along with 3 special guests.
David Sanders, Representative Alderman for Ward 2, City Clerk Peggy Bateman, and CEO or Executive Director of Loyd, Andrea Runge.
That's right. So that happens this Saturday, 9 a.m. I guess you can watch Cheap Seats, watch the YouTube recording of it, and catch up later. So, but Mayor Welch will be there at Guest House in downtown Lincoln. And with that brings us to 4:30. So we'll go ahead and say thank you to Mayor Tracy Welch for joining us. Sure thing. And we'll be back next week with the 4 p.m. 411.
Live video streaming of this event is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com.
The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.